Okay, here are some examples of dominant 7-chord sounds with a raised fifth and a lowered fifth and a regular ninth. These will come from the whole tone scale. So these are on the 1-2-4-6 string family on D flat, and just a few examples of some of the possibilities. The most basic ones, we'll start on D flat, C flat, A, and E flat. And then that E flat can move to F. So those two moves. Also, the A can move to G, and that's common. D flat, B, or C flat, G, and E flat. So they can they are of course movable in that cycle. If we go back to the introductory one, this in terms of the E flat, we move the E flat can then also move to the B. So we have a sound with an A. We have a D flat, A, G, and B. So that couples with this. And the first one. Also, voice exchange is what gives you this, from this to this, from this D flat, C flat, A, and E flat. E flat goes to D flat and vice versa on the upper two strings. Now, the same thing holds true for this one. This F can go on the low E string like this. So the bass can move. Just to kind of alleviate the monotony on voicings like that. They can go back further. For example, D flat, A flat, G, and B. If we move the A to B, and then we move the B to A, so the two outside, so we have a collapsing of the inner voices. That's nice too. So, and it provides some relief of the sound too. So that's one way of deriving extra voicings from this. Also, it can go in the other direction. I mean, there are voicings, for example, that move more in this direction. D flat, E flat, B, and F. And just sort of moving those. But this tends to sound like a dominant ninth. You know, so that really has a ninth sound. It can resolve up by semitone, or it can resolve down by semitone, or by fifth. You know, the G can resolve to a C. Most cycles, even minor third cycle like that, a G chord resolving to an E, etc. All has to do with the voice leading and the musicality of the passage. Some are a little more difficult, like this one is a nice voicing, but it can be physically a little difficult to play. And this results from voice exchange from this. So if you take D flat, C flat, G, and E flat, and you exchange the outer two voicings, you get this, which is a nice sound, but can be a little bit difficult to perform. Maybe at slower tempos. That's a tougher one. But this just gives you an insight into some of the possibilities for the whole tone voicings themselves. And these will be on the D flat. And again, the cycle is all whole steps, resolving by semitones, minor thirds, major thirds, in some cases, perfect fifth and fourth resolutions. But at any rate, those are some of the voicings on 1-2-4-6 on D flat using the whole tone scale for altered dominant chord sounds.